I would say that a great program, and so much value, so much thing that you can learn, not only about investment, because a lot of people or students when they know about TCM, they only think about investment, but it's not just about it. It's a lot about teamwork, a lot about how to coordinate with other people in the same team, learning about fundamental analysis, which can apply throughout any kind of field that I can think of regarding finance field. And it literally can give you an edge, a jump start in your career. Because so often I see students graduate out of school, they get into a circle where company require experience, and you just get out of school, you don't have experience, and then because of that you don't have work, and it's just go one circle, just go over and over. If you're in ASAP, at least you have it, not give you everything to get like guarantee a job, but seriously it can give you a good heads up, a good one step before other, to show that you have experience, you have the knowledge, you have the skill, and you are ready to learn more and ready to go and learn more and develop yourself so that you can be faster and up to speed compared to what the firm need to. And I think that most what company and recruiter looking for, somebody who have the fundamental, have the foundation, where they can base on that and grow along the way when they take the opportunity at the company. And I think that's really a great thing that ASAP provided any student. And for me, myself, thinking of myself, I didn't even think about my career in finance. I already set myself at an accountant, which I, at that point, think boring. I just didn't think that I would be interested in finance until I heard of ASAP. I learned more about finance. Like, wow, this is an amazing thing. And the more I learn in ASAP, the more I draw into the finance world. And yeah, that how it built up in me, and how it led me to where I am right now, working at Berkeley as a credit risk officer.
Just going back to why I joined ASAP, or Titan Capital Management now, is I was first part of the Student Managed Investment Fund. While I was in that program, I realized like, oh, here I want to learn a lot more. And I heard about, the TCM program. I was like, okay, this seems like more of an advanced program versus student managed investment fund, because in student managed investment fund, it's more of the students, a mixture of students who are first starting out in the investment field, want to get their toes in the investment field and see what they like about it, what they don't like about it. And there's a certain group of students who really want to pursue it even further. So that's kind of how I see Titan Capital Management. And I was one of those students, because a lot of the students in Titan Capital Management are naturally more competitive. And I was part of that group, and I wanted to learn a lot more about investments in general. So when I joined the TCM program, I realized, hey, this is more of an actual internship. You're actually going into the weeds of these various companies, whether it be stocks or bonds, and actually going through the financials, trying to forecast what they're going to be like in the future. And you're actually writing up commentaries, you're actually writing up research reports, and it's essentially a job, but you're still in school. So you're getting the real great hands-on work and advice from all various directors in the program.
On the one hand, I wanted the experience and the skills. I think, obviously going to school, you take a lot of finance classes and those are good, but this is more geared specifically towards investments and investment management, which is really helpful. But then on the other hand, I also wanted the kind of the prestige and just to be able to put it on my resume that, I did this. And I think it's a step above just going to school, because when you go out and look for a job, you're like, yeah, I took all these classes. But if you've been to Titan Capital Management, you can say, I not only did these classes, but I did this internship and I've done all these things that these companies are actually looking for. So I think in that sense, it's really beneficial.
There is also a great networking opportunity involved in Titan Capital Management. Breaking into an investment field is very difficult if you don't necessarily know many people in the industry. So having those relationships with a lot of local investment firms already gives us the edge versus other competitors or other students who may not have that experience or organizational network. So that's another value add for the Titan Capital Management program from my perspective.
When I think about why I joined Titan Capital Management, is for a few reasons. One, I was very curious about the capital markets. I had a current Titan Capital Management student come into one of my classrooms and pitch that these were the smartest students researching the investment field, coming together, and they have 24-hour access to a room where they can just expand their curiosity and learn more and dig deeper. And I, being a competitive person, felt like I should put myself in that same group. And I wanted to tap into that curiosity, and I pushed forward, and it was a great decision. I'm very thankful for it. I knew as I was about to graduate school that I wanted to get a job, and people want to get jobs for various reasons to build their own net worth. For me, it was like helping my family out. And I knew that the best way to set myself up for a job was to do something outside of the classroom, as Stephen mentioned. Companies are not just looking for students, especially in the investment field, not just looking for students that went to class. They are looking for those that got involved, that network, that went out of their normal day-to-day schedules to learn more about the markets and gain experience. And being a part of Titan Capital Management, it's an applied program that will get you that experience, that will set you apart from other students that are looking for a job. Being on the other side of it now, with all of us having jobs in the industry, we see it firsthand when we're looking at resumes, what stands out and what doesn't. And having Titan Capital Management on your resume will help you get that extra edge in getting that interview and potentially landing a job.
I think if you have the natural curiosity to learn about the investment financial markets in general, I think you'll still do well. Even if you're a shy, timid person, we're always here to help people, and everyone here is very supportive. And I think if you have the natural curiosity, you're naturally going to do well in the field.
Mm-hmm. I don't think one necessarily needs to be the best presenter or the most outgoing or the most competitive to do well in Titan Capital Management. I think, as Christian mentioned, they need to have a natural curiosity about the markets and wanting to learn more. There are those that are maybe more shy that will go on to succeed and, even after Titan Capital Management, land jobs that fit best to their skill set. But because they went through the program, they developed, a great fundamental base to help land them that job or gain those network opportunities. So I think it's possible for anyone to succeed in Titan Capital Management if they're willing to learn.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. I mean, going through the whole program, I would say the thing I lacked the most was my presentation skills, but now in my current role, I'm doing presentations on a quarterly basis. So I think going through the whole TCM program where we have to do presentations almost essentially every month, I think has really set me up to be successful in my current career.
Yeah, I would kind of echo what they're saying. Like, I think one of the benefits of Titan Capital Management is really it fits all personality types, all different styles, as long as you have a hunger for, learning about investments and investment management, credit analysis, all those things. Really, there's such a wide variety of jobs in the investment industry as a whole, all the way from being an analyst where you're just doing your work by yourself. If you're more introverted or shy, it really fits you well. And that's actually what I do now. But then there's other jobs, obviously, where you're presenting, where you're talking to people, where you're going out and pitching things, funds, whatever it is. And I think Titan Capital Management really involves all those things. So it really gives you a broad variety of experience in the industry and lets you hone those skills and really develop those skills, maybe in areas where you're lacking. I know, a lot of students, they're not very good at presenting. Having to get up and do that, even though it might not, it might be a little intimidating, it really is something that's going to help you grow and develop those skills in areas you're lacking.
I just think about myself. I have an obvious example, at least from my end, thinking, when I started, got accepted to ASAP, which is TCM now, I couldn't even communicate well in English. I feel like isolated at school because my communication skill is not as good. And I didn't think I can make it to finance because that become my bottleneck skill. And presentation, networking, everything related to that, it's just kind of stopped because of the communication. But when I got into the team and the whole team working together into one goal and everyone move along, and just feel like, oh, it's really a great environment for me to learn. And also that pushed me to get out my comfort zone, to get into to earn the skill that really essential for whatever job when you go to graduate and find a job, because like it or not, despite regardless what kind of personality you are, but the fact that you push yourself out of comfort zone, try to learn the skill, get the knowledge, and prove that you can do that. Later, when you graduated, you can find a job that fit your personality later, but the experience and the skill that go a long way right after, like even after you already find a job and graduated, because you prove that you can do that and you have the ability to do that. And that's what people are looking for when they find a candidate for an opportunity or position at that firm.
For me, I think it's the little things that really matter. So all the late nights, we've all been in the same room. There's, that TCM room. I think just having those late nights where we're all just on the computer researching things, that we're bouncing off ideas. I think that's the most memorable thing for me.
We've built a friendship and a network that I think will last many years. And I've really enjoyed getting to know all of my classmates.
I think for me, a couple of things that I remember, obviously the trip to New York, I'll always remember that. That was awesome. But then also, like Christian said, just being in that room. And I think the biggest thing is just debating ideas and voting on things, and just some of the great times we had, arguing amongst ourselves about what should be in the portfolio, what shouldn't.
The time that we do on research and present it and get feedback from board advisor, from the trip to San Francisco, where I had a chance to present my recommendation, and I started out as the investment from North Korea, and everyone paused for a moment until I say just kidding, and everyone backed up. I think that one of the things that stick in my mind, and I think it's wonderful that we have a chance to go explore and hear feedback from professionals, people who in the field, and can give you what you can improve on. I think that's invaluable, and yeah, it stay forever.
I think the kind of the network you join when you join Titan Capital Management, and just not only the wealth of knowledge, but all the resources and people that you meet is invaluable. I mean, not necessarily me, but so many of the rest of the alumni have gotten jobs because of people they met or people they went they were in the program with. And like I've told the guys, I'm just waiting for someone to become the portfolio manager of a big hedge fund so we could all rejoin together.
It'll happen.
So right after graduation, I started as a personal banker, which is not anything related to what I learned at TCM, even though it stayed there. So that I can hone my communication skill, destroy the fear of communicating, talking to client. I'm making phone, like cold call and reach out to client. Doing that for about a year, I feel much more comfortable with my communication, and I think, okay, it's the time I missed analytical aspect of the career, and I make a move and reach out to recruiter within Comerica Bank, which is the same bank that I was a personal banker. Now for the credit analyst position, underwriter for middle market commercial bank, and I got a job. Again, thanks to the fundamental skill, that knowledge analysis and understanding of macro as well, micro, and everything that I learned, I showcase it in my interview, and that really the thing that gave me the job. And after 2 years, I moved to New York, and looking for a position where I can apply even more the knowledge that I learned from ASAP. The previous job used a lot of fundamental analysis and credit analysis, which I learned from ASAP. Now the current job gives me the opportunity to learn more about different kind of trades, expose more to the macro environment. I have to look at any event that happened around the world, in Iran, in Ukraine conflict between Russia and Ukraine, things like that have to be taken into consideration as well. Also, the client that I work with are hedge funds, so I have the opportunity to learn more about the different strategy which I got exposed when I do analysis during ASAP program. It just look back every little piece of information that you learn at the program, that I learned from the program. It just appear in a bigger picture when I start working in my first job and my current job.
Shortly after undergrad, I went to a sales job actually, and it wasn't related to investment field. So just in regards to just selling loans to other types of clients. So it wasn't something I was really interested in, but at the same time, I was still trying to get my foot in the door in the investment field, which later, a few months later, this is where the network really came in handy for in regards to TCM. I had a friend who worked I had two friends actually that worked at Canterbury Consulting, and there was a position opening up on the research side. So they both referred me to the role at Canterbury, and that's essentially how I got my foot in the door. And from there on, the ball just kept rolling and rolling now. So I've been very grateful for that opportunity, and it's very grateful for my network as well and all the levers that pull from TCM. So that's kind of my experience from there, and I'm sure Sam will have his own experience here too.
Yeah. Well, what do you do?
So my research role. So Canterbury is an advisory firm. We advise essentially nonprofit organizations and family offices as well. So my role on the research side is to essentially do due diligence on fixed income portfolio managers. A lot of our clients' investments are in mutual funds, and then and we also have private equity and private debt funds, which are a whole different animal. But essentially, I cover all things credit, and most of that credit is public, which is mutual funds. And my job is to essentially do due diligence on these public mutual funds and the portfolio managers that run these mutual funds. So that's been a whole new different experience from TCM, because at TCM, you're actually in the weeds, actually in learning about fundamentals, reading companies' balance sheets and income statements and cash flow statements and all that good stuff. But having that experience alone makes it a lot easier for me to speak to these portfolio managers on a quarterly basis, because now we can talk about the markets, talk about individual companies and all those in between as well. So that's essentially my role here at Canterbury Consulting on the research side.
Christian's doing very well here. He's a
As are both of you.
I'm whatever. So I after TCM, I first got a job at State Street Trust and Bank over in Irvine. So I was doing middle office, back office operations, trade, confirmations there, and did that for about a year. Right after that, I was actually referred to Canterbury Consulting by another TCMer, Aaliyah, and I've been here since. I've been here almost 3 years now. I am a senior investment analyst. I'm working more on the client reporting side. So I put together the quarterly performance materials for the client that the consultant will review with the client. I perform asset allocation analysis on the client's portfolios. I cover the rebalancing or money movement transactions that go on in a portfolio, and I've been loving it here. I really enjoy the relationships, and fun fact, I got both of my jobs out of school by fellow TCMers. So build that network.
There you go.
I was actually teaching at the time, and so it was invaluable to go to TCM and just be able to switch careers like I did. And after TCM, I actually got a job at Fidelity Investments as a financial representative. It's really just a very operational job. And you're just helping clients do various things, anything from opening accounts to, just advising them on their 401k or really IRA, actually not 401k, but just simple investment advice. Nothing really that, involved. So I was there a year and a half, and then from there, I came to where I work now, which is Christian Community Credit Union. So I'm a commercial credit analyst, and really, I'm doing everything that I did in Titan Capital Management. And when I actually applied for the job, I brought in my reports like I'd heard other people had done, and they were impressed by it, because basically I had already done everything that I would be doing. It was slightly different, looking at slightly different metrics, but basically, you know, I'm just reviewing loans, doing risk ratings, giving grades. And so, yeah, exactly what I was doing there.
It's going to be incredibly difficult for anyone trying to break into this industry if they don't have experience or some kind of extracurricular activity outside of classes. Why not go out of your comfort zone and go into an applied program like TCM that's going to push you? But in that process, it's going to teach you so much. The network base we've established now, there are TCMers working all across the globe, you know, and, you know, we're very centralized in SoCal. So, you know, my recommendation, if you're even considering TCM, is to reach out to someone that was in Titan Capital Management and just, you know, try to get to know us even further. Our doors are always open.
Just be sponge and absorb the good thing, the good knowledge that the program have to offer. And in the end, you would realize more than that what you expect, that how much have you gone, how far have you gone, and how much have you achieved at the end of the program. And I really think that's so true after the 2 semesters joining the program. So much that I have learned and so valuable.